Hello everyone, is Professor Sadiq Noor, and today in my Excel series I will be teaching you how to create, sort and querying a table. So at the end of the video you should be able to create and manipulate a table, delete, duplicate records, use the VLOOKUP and XLOOKUP function to look up a value in a table, add calculated columns to the table with structure references, use icon set with conditional formatting, insert a total row, sort a table on one field or multiple field, sort, query and search a table using the auto filter, remove the auto filter, create a criteria and extract the ranges, evaluate the table data with the daverage and dcount database functions, applying the SUMIF and the COUNTIF stats functions, displaying the automatic subtotals, use the outline feature to group, hide, and unhide data and create a tree map chart. So the first thing is a table. What is a table? A table, also called a database, is organized collection of rows and columns of a similarly structured data on a worksheet. For example, a list of friends is a table, a group of students registered for a class, a club membership roster, or an instructor's grade book. All can be arranged as a table on a worksheet. In these cases, the data related to each person or item is called record, and the individual data items that make up a record are called field. For example, the field can be the name, address, phone number, current balance, status, right? So the next thing now, we're gonna open a data file to start the video and the lecture. And this file, I will attach it under the description of this video. So you can download and you can follow the steps in the video. So let's start. So I downloaded the file. So the file is sc_ex6-1. So I will double click it to open in Excel. The file open in Excel. Sometimes you might get protective view, so you have to enable it. In my case, I did not, right? So this file, now we open the file, so we need to save it. So go to File, Save As, Browse, and then I will go to the Documents or the desktop, and then I will click on my Excel lecture folder, and then I will change it to, I will just add dash invoices, and then I will save it. So now the file has been saved as invoices. All right. The next is your quick access toolbar here. Then you have the tabs. Below the tab is your ribbon. This is your ribbon. The ribbon consists of groups, and the groups has name like alignment, number, style, cells. Here is your formula bar. Here is if you want to insert a function. If you tap anything in the formula bar and you want to enter it to the cell, you can press the check sign, or X means you don't want to enter that value. This box is the name box. Name box indicate where you are located at this moment. So I'm in I-15 right now, right? So the next thing, the status bar. Above the status bar is the tab of your sheet. So by default, you start with only one worksheet, right? So this is your worksheet, all right? And then if you want to keep adding more sheets, you have to click the plus sign. Below the tab, of the sheets are your status bar. Now Excel is ready. Accessibility is good to go. And then we have the views. You can view Excel in normal view, page layout, and then break, preview, and then these are your zoom. If you want to zoom your instruction like the way I'm doing it now, so I zoomed it, right? So now we need to understand the table guidelines before you convert these table ranges, this range into a table. We have to follow some of the guidelines. The first guideline is do not enter more than one table per worksheet. Maintain at least one blank row between a table and other worksheet entries. A table can have a maximum of how many columns? 16,384. That's how much column you could have, right? Whereas you can have a record of see how much record you can put in the table. All right. So there's a lot of information you can have inside the table. So these will be your records and these will be your field, the columns. So the field is actually this guy here. All right. These are your field. These are your field. Below your field, these information here is your record. All right. The records. Now the next is the column heading. Place the column heading in the first row of the table. Do not use a blank row or rows with repeating characters such as dashes or underscore to separate the column heading from the data. Okay. The next thing, apply a different format to the column heading than to the data. For example, bold the column headings and format the data below the column heading using a regular style, right? The next thing is the content of the table. Each cell in any given column should have a similar structured data. For example, each shipping destination, every entry should use a two-letter state abbreviation. Do not use the full state name for some record. Like in this case, what they are saying is that you have to use two letters as an abbreviation for the shipping destination, right? So you cannot just say the whole Texas or Maryland and so on, right? So you have to type it only in two letters, right? And then you have to format the data to improve the readability. So let's start. So the first thing is to create a table. To create a table, we need to format the range as a table. This is the range of record. I want to convert it to what? A table. So what we need is we will move our cursor here, select here, and then we will go to the Home tab, and then you will see Styles, and then click on Format as a table, and we are looking for blue table style medium 16. So click on it. It asks you, is that the range you want to select? No, I don't want to add the title. So it has to start from A2. So click again and highlight the range again. Then click OK. And be sure that my table has a header because these will be your headers, right? So click OK. So everything is done. Now the next is we have to wrap the text, right? We have to wrap the text. So we need to select the column C, hold the Shift key, and click on D. And then we have to increase the size to 12, decrease. to 12. Once you see 12 in your screen tip, now release your finger from the left key of your mouse. Now the C and D has been changed the word to 12. Now row number 2, select the row number 2, and we want to stretch it to 27. 27. Perfect. Now we have to select C2 and D2, right? And then we have to go to the alignment group, and then we have to click on wrap text. Perfect. All right. Next, we have to name the table. So the following step, I'm going to show you how to name the table. Why? When referring to the table in a formula, referring to it by name rather than by the ranges reference will save time. So instead of saying A2, they will have a table name, right? So if you want to select A2 all the way to F17, the whole thing will have a name. So it's going to be the table name invoices, for example, right? So to do that, just click inside the table and you will see a new contextual tab here, table design. Click on it. And then the first group under the table design is the properties. Now it says table 1. So take it off, click on it and change it to invoices. And then press the enter key. Now the whole table has been saved or is been named as invoices. Now we have to remove the duplication. So the following step, I'm going to show you how to remove any duplicate record in the table. Why? Duplicate can occur when the data is entered incorrectly by more than one person or from one or more sources. For example, somebody else is doing the same thing and I was adding those data in the table. So what happened is both person type the same thing. Like if you see here, this is a duplicate of a record. As you see, it's the same. So we have to remove the duplication. So be sure your cursor is inside the table. And then we're gonna go to the table design. And then be sure that the second group is tools. And then remove duplicate. Click on it. It's gonna select the whole table. And then it says remove duplicate dialog box. You don't need to do anything in here. If there is any duplication from these columns, it's gonna be removed. Click OK. One duplicate values were found and removed. So click OK. So now I don't have that extra record that was duplicating. So we remove the duplication. Next is to enter a new rows and record into the table. So I will go to A17 and I will type these numbers. Three slash, so go back. And then these will be 29. All right. So, and then we're gonna type 46.31. You can tap it. Is MA. And then is email. And then is yes. Now we're gonna go back and add the second record. And then 3/4/13. My keyboard is so fast. Tap it. And then 72.10. Tap it. And then VT, tap it from your keyboard, or you can press the enter key and you can go back to the cell. It is a website, tap it, and no, and then press the enter key. 18221, tap it, 3/14/29, tap it, 38.90, tap it. All right, and then is a VT, tap it, and then is a social media, tap it, yes. Now click up to execute it. So now everything has been typed, right? The next is to add new columns to the table, right? So what we need is we have to select the G column and then hold the shift and select H, and we want this column to be 13. So move to the middle of the two guys. Now it's 8. Make it to be 13. 13. Now release your finger from the left of your keyboard, of your mouse. Now, and then I should be 15. So drag it to the right until you see 15. 15. Release your left key. All right. Now we're gonna type promo code discount. Then I'm going to the H2, and then we're gonna say promo code refund. Press the enter key. And then in I, we're gonna say adjusted invoice amount. All right. So select, let's see if I can select the three of them, the G2 all the way to I2, and then go back to the home, and then we need to wrap. Perfect. All the three has been wrapped. All right. Now we want to center across a selection. So what's going to happen with this one? We wanna make this to be merged, but these cells still I want them to be active, to be available. And instead of being in the previous video, you have seen me when I merge the cell, it become one row and one column, so nobody else can use this one, right? So the center across a selection is only this will move to the middle, but the other cells will be available, right? So select the A1 all the way to I1. Then we have to go to the alignment, and then you will click on this gray down arrow. And then we are in the alignment tab for the format cells in the dialog box. Then under the horizontal, I need you to go to center across selection and then click OK. Now, as you see, these will be available. See, it's not merged. Yeah. Right? Now, the next thing we want to do after this, now we have to use the lookup, using a lookup table. Now the entries in the promo code discount column calculate the discount for each order when the promo code is used. So the amount differ because the discount percentage is based on the amount the customer orders, right? Excel contains a function that allow you to assign these percentages based on a range of values that are stored in a separate area on the worksheet. So these functions are called lookup functions because they look up and retrieve values from a table or range. If the table stores the data to lookup, the range is called lookup table, right? So the most flexible lookup function is the XLOOKUP. The XLOOKUP function searches for the value in a lookup table or a range and return a corresponding value to the cell containing the function. Like the XLOOKUP and HLOOKUP and VLOOKUP searches for values and return the corresponding value, but with some important differences. So what's the difference now? The HLOOKUP function searches for a value in the top row of a lookup table, and then searches down a specified number of rows to return the corresponding value in the same column. Whereas the VLOOKUP function searches for the value in a column of, of a lookup table and then searches the specific number of columns to the right to the return value in the same row. So the VLOOKUP is the most widely used than the HLOOKUP, as most tables are read from the left to right versus the top to bottom, right? So we're gonna use the XLOOKUP and the VLOOKUP in this video, all right? So now to create an area for a lookup and return arrays, what we need is we have to go to A22. A22, and then we're gonna type promo code table, all right? And then we have to size it to 14. So select A22, go to the font under the home tab and change the size to 14, all right? Now we have to select A22 all the way to B22 and then do right click and then go to the shortcut menu, go to format cells. And then we're gonna go to the alignment, the same as this one here. The same as this one here. Alignment, and then under the horizontal, we will say center across, and then okay. Next, we're gonna go to A23, and then we're gonna type expand. And then we in B23, we're gonna say promo code discount. So first we have to create the table, the array. All right. So the next thing we want to do is we want to copy the formation in the top here. So you can do like this. Select A2 all the way to C2. Then double click the format painter. And then scroll down. All right. Now go back to the top and click on the clipboard and remove the feature of the format painter to deselect. Now this one we have to wrap it. So go to the alignment group and click wrap the text. All right, perfect. Now, the next thing you can select this and you can boldface, all right? Now we're gonna type the spend 50 20, 0, right? And then under the promo code discount, we're gonna say 15%, 10%, and 5%. All right. Now we're gonna use the X lookup. As I show you, as I explain why we have X lookup, X lookup, and we have V lookup and H lookup. So we don't use the H at all. We use the X or the V lookup, right? So we're gonna use this one now, and then later on we will use the V lookup. So the X lookup, right, is used, we're gonna use the X lookup function and the lookup and return an array to determine the promo code discount for each invoices. Using using the X lookup function with the table allows Excel to display the discount rather than user typing them individually, right? So to do that, we will go to, now we're gonna go a little bit in the top, and then I will shrink it down so you're gonna see what I'm gonna be typing, right? So we're gonna go to G3. G3 is the promo code discount, right? And then we're gonna start with equal, then tab X. As soon as you tab X, you should get X lookup. So double click it. These are the arguments, right? So the first thing in dark is lookup value. What's your lookup value? Your lookup value in this case will be C3. C3. This is the value I'm looking at. So because you already named the table, right, as invoices, if you remember in the previous step. So now it says invoice and the name of the column. So it says invoice amount is the column name you selected. And the value in that is 23.46. Then comma, comma. Now the next in dark is lookup area. What's your lookup area? A24 all the way to A26. So my lookup area is gonna be A20, A24 all the way to A26. So my area is gonna be this. All right. Comma. We have to make it absolute. So press the F4. Now, if you have a laptop, then you have to press the F and F4 together. Right? As you see, the dollar sign has been added. That means A24 and A26 will be absolute. It's not gonna move up or down or right. It's not gonna do. It's gonna stay on that cells. A24 to A26. After that, then comma. Now, what's your return array? What you wanna return? The percentage, you remember? So that will be B24 and B26. So that's the percentage you wanna return. That's your return array. All right. We have to make it absolute. So Fn, F4. Then two commas. Then the exact matching. So 0 is exact matching. We are looking for the -1. That's with this one. -1 is exact match or next smaller item. Double click it. Now close the parentheses and click OK. So the good thing with this is that automatically all the cell will be filled up together. You don't need to hold the fill handle and then copy the formula from the G3 all the way to G19. You don't need to do that, right? So automatically Excel is gonna populate because of being in a table. That's the beauty of having a table. Now we have to change this to percentage. So select G3 all the way to G19, and then we have to give the percentage. Perfect. Now we have to add a calculating field to the table. So a calculated field or a computational field is a field or a column in a table that contains a formula, function, cell references, structured references, or condition, right? When you create a calculated field, Excel automatically fills in the column without the use of the fill or copy command. You do not have to use the fill handle to replicate the formulas in the calculated field, all right? So to create the calculated field, one thing is that when you type a formula in a calculator field, Excel allow you to enter the structure reference rather than using the normal cell references. A structure reference is a reference that allow the table formula to refer to the table column by names that are automatically generated when the table is created. So instead of saying A1, A2, B20, you don't need that. So it's gonna be referred by the column names. All right. So let's see how we're gonna do that. So let's go to H3, which is we're gonna find the promo code refund, right? H3. Now we're gonna start with an if, so equal if. Now double click the if from the shortcut. Now what's your logical if what? So you need to open the square bracket, right? And then you can say if the invoice amount, so you can double click the invoice amount. So you can select the invoice amount equal double quotation, yes. So if the invoice, if we said, so I will repeat this formula here. So equal, always start the formula with equal, then if, right? So double click the if. Now open a square, and then you will say, if you put the add means this row, right? So if you put this add, and then double click the promo code, the promo code, double click it, right? Equal, yes. If the promo code is equal, yes, then comma, all right? And then open a square bracket, and then you can set this row from here, or you can just click whatever the stuff is. So you can say like this. Then you will say the invoice amount, and then multiplied, and then so here you have to put the closing, right? And then here also we need the closing. So open, and then the add, and then we are looking for the promo code discount. Promo code discount. Close, and then comma, otherwise 0, and then close the parentheses. So we are saying that if the promo code is yes, then whatever the invoice multiply by the promo code discount. Otherwise, if not, if no, then 0. All right. So select now from H3 all the way to H19, and then we have to give the dollar amount. All right. The dollar amount. Now the negative indicates 0. Next, we want to find out the adjusted invoice amount. All right. So what we're going to do in I3, we need to go here and make it accounting, right? And then we have to start with equal, and then we have to use the square bracket, and then we can double click the invoice amount. Click on it, and then minus, open the square, and then minus the promo code refund. All right, and then click OK. So these are the discount. Let me show you the formula. The invoice minus the promo code refund. All right. Now we have to use conditional formatting. Conditional formatting allows you to create rules that change the formatting of a cell based on its value. For example, you might want negative values to appear highlighted in red. For example, if I have a students whose average is less than 60%, so I want to indicate or highlight it in a different color like red, green, blue, and so on, right? So in this case, we're gonna add a conditional formatting rule with the icon set. All right. So to do that, we have to select H3 all the way to H19. And then we're gonna go to the Home tab, and then the Style group, and then Conditional Formatting. And then we're gonna go to New Rule, and then these are all the rules. So we're gonna leave it as format all cell based on their values, right? And then we're gonna go here, and we wanna select the icon set, and then we have to be sure that we want the 3 traffic signals, 3 traffic light. So that's what the one I am looking at. And then we will go here, and then we will change first the type to number. And then we said if the value is greater 5, that should turn to green, right? Greater or equal 5. And then I will change this to number. And then if is less than, sorry, greater. greater 0. So that will be in yellow, right? If it's above 0, greater 0. So if it's 0, then it's going to be red, right? So that will be the indication. Less than equals 0 will be red. And then greater 0 will be, and then above 5 will be, or equal 5 will be green. And then click OK. As you see now, orange, red, and green. All right. Now you can also replace any kind of duplication. If you find any duplicate with the condition formatting, you can also change it. How? You can go here to the formatting, and then you will go to a new rules, and then you will select this format only unique or duplicate values. So to remove any duplication. The next is to insert a total row. The total row checkbox insert a total row at the bottom of the table, summing the values in the last column. So by default, the setting create a total in the last column. However, the total row displays the button beside each cell to create other totals and functions. So to do that, be sure that you are in the table, inside the table, then go to the contextual tab, which is the table design. And then you will see the group that says table style option and click on total row. As you see, I click the total row and then I got a new row with the total automatically showing me the total. Now, we also want to find the refund total. So click here, go to H20 and then click the drop down arrow in the right, and then we need the sum. So 28, and then we want to go to C20, click the drop down in the right of the box, sum, perfect. All right. Now we will save our work. Click the floppy from the quick access toolbar. Now the next is if you want to print out. So you will go to File, Print. Now as you see, the orientation is portrait. So we need to change it to landscape. And then some of my columns are cutting off in the table. You will go to noise scaling and you will say fit sheet on one page. Now I can see everything perfect. Now I'm not gonna print it, so I will click the back arrow and I will save what I did. All right. Next is now sorting. Sorting, how to sort the table. So to sort, what we need is, you see here the dates in the invoice date is not being sorted. So click B3, right? B3. And then we will go back to the home, the editing group, the sort and filter, and we can sort it alphabetically, means that's a number. So it's going to be from the oldest to the newest. So we sorted. Now we have March 1st, right? Now you will notice that I will have also these buttons here is the auto filter buttons. So you will notice like a sort. That means you sorted, all right? Next is now to sort descending wise, all right? So the following step, I'm going to show you the sort the records in descending order by invoice amount using the sort largest to smallest button on the data tab. Sometimes it is more convenient to use the data tab and sort with a single click. So next is I will go to the invoice, all right? And then we will go to the data tab and then I will click on sort smallest to largest, or you want to sort it as largest to smallest. So largest to smallest. Now you can also customize the sort. While Excel allows you to sort up to 256 field or columns in a single custom sort operation. In these steps, you will use the custom sort command to sort the invoice table using 3 fields. Sorting on 3 fields enable you to customize the sort significantly so that the record appears in a logical order, right? So to do that, what we're gonna do is that we're gonna go back to the home. Then we will click the editing group and then click on the arrow for sort and filter. And then we're gonna go to custom sort. It's gonna open the sort dialog box. And then in this case, we have to change. We need to select. We will change this to cell origin. And then we want to sort it from A to Z, the order. Then add a level to add another box. And then the next will be, we want to do the next is shipping destination. And the shipping destination also, I will sort it as A to Z. Then click on the plus like to add a level. And then the third column is gonna be promo code discount. Click the arrow and then find promo code discount. Promo code discount. And then that will be largest to smallest and click OK. All right. So we did the sorting. Now the next is how to query a table using the auto filter. When you first create the table, Excel automatically enables the auto filter, which is a tool used to sort, query, and filter the record in a table. This one here. This is what we call the auto filter button. It helps us to do 3 things: to sort, to query, and to filter the records in a table. All right. While using the auto filter, the filter button appears to the right of the column headings. Clicking a button displays the filter menu for a column with the various commands and a list of all items in the field. All right. So let's see how we're going to use it. So now we're going to sort the table using the auto filter. All right. So what I need you to do for me is we need to click on the, we're going to, the invoice amount. Click on the arrow. All right. And then we're going to be doing sort by smallest to largest. As you see, it get the smallest then the largest. Next is to query a table using the auto filter. So the following step, I will show you how to use the query the invoices table using the auto filter. The auto filter will cause the table to display only the specific records which might be helpful in a very large table. So that will be now to query, to use the auto filter. Now let's go to D2. D2. And then we don't want taxes other than taxes. So remove the checksum from taxes and click OK. Now I filtered everything but not the shipping destination taxes. All right. Now, what if you want to use the destination, shipping destination, or the sale origin, right? So once you want to do that, so you will go here and then you could say what you want. So I don't want website, I don't want email, I want social media. Click OK. So you sort it according to the sale origin social media. All right. So the next is to remove the filter now. I have two ways to do that. One, as you see, the filter auto filter button has a filter icon with it, right? You can go here and then you can say clear the filter from the shipping destination, right? Or you can go to the data tab and then under the sort and filter group, you will click clear. It took care of it. You see that? Right? So it's up to you which way you want. Now we're gonna do to search a table using the auto filter. Using the auto filter, you can search for specific records by entering the data in the search box. The sequence of the data you entered is called the search string. Search string. For example, in a student table, you might want to search for a specific student ID number that might be difficult to locate in a large set of records, right? So in this case, what we want to do is that we're gonna go to the date, right? So invoice date. So I will click here and then I will go to the search and I will tap 22nd. So once I get the 22nd, and then I will click OK, and that's the 22nd. See, March 22nd. So I got the record I'm searching for. So this is my search. Now, what if you want to remove the filter, the search? You will click the auto filter button and then you will say clear the filter. There you go. Now the next is to enhance the custom criteria using the auto filter. So another way to query a table is to use the custom filter command. The custom filter command allows you to enter the custom criteria such as multiple option or ranges of numbers. So why do we need that? Not all queries are exact numbers. Many times a range of number is required, right? So to do that, what we're gonna do is we have to go to I2, and click the autofilter button. And then we will go to number and filters and then go to custom filter. And then we will choose greater equal to 10 and is less than equal to 45 and then click OK. Right? So you kind of sort like that too. All right. Now we need to turn off the auto filter button. We don't want this button anymore. So before we do that, we can go here, right? And then we're gonna say clear the filter, right? Now we will go to the data and you see the filter button, the auto filter button is on. So you click it, it's hide it. When you need it, just click it, right? So we need to take it off. Save what you have done from the quick launch toolbar. Next is using a criteria and extract ranges. Another advanced filter technique called criteria range manipulates the record that pass the comparison criteria. So a criteria range is a location separate from the table used to list the specific search specification. Like the custom filter, a criteria range compares the entered data with the list or table based on the column heading that you are asking question from, right? So let's create a criteria range. So to do that, we have to insert 8 rows. So click the one. Once you select the one, and then insert, then go back, insert, then go back and insert, go back and insert, insert. Right click on the one and insert from the shortcut menu. Right click and insert. Right click and insert. All right. So after we did that, the next now is that we need to select A9 all the way to I10. So we need this. Go back to the home, the clipboard, group and copy. Then go to A and paste. All right. Now press the escape key from your keyboard. So what we need is select. Now click the format painter and then highlight A2 all the way. You see my cursor has a brush with it. All right. Now we're done with this. Now here we need to change the A1 to criteria space range. All right. Criteria range. And then we need to select A2 all the way to I3 and we have to name it. So go to the name box and call this area as criteria and then press the enter key. All right. If you want, you can boldface this. Perfect. Now to query using a criteria range. All right. So to do that in E3 under the cell origin, we are looking for social media. And then in the I3, which is the adjusted invoice amount, greater 25. All right. So that's my criteria. That's what I want to ask from here. I want to check the sale origin social media and the adjusted invoice amount is greater 25, right? So what you need is then get your pointer or cursor inside the table and then let's go to the data and then let's go to advanced. You see here sort, click on advanced. Now it's gonna open the advanced filter, right? So the first thing is your range. Is it your range good? The list of range is from A10 all the way to A28. So it should be 27. So you cannot change this, the I27. 27, and then your criteria range from A to all the way to I. That's perfect, right? And you want the action should be filter the list in place. You want to filter from here. From here, you want to see the results of what you asked for from your criteria range. So I want social media and greater 25. Click OK. Boom, it's done. You see? It's sorted. It find for you the record, the query that you asked for. Now, if you want to change this, for example, just to give you another example, what if you want the shipping destination VA, right? VA. Now you will do the same thing. You will click here. You will go to the advanced. Now look is everything, the range, and then your criteria, then click OK. So VA, Virginia, social media, yes. You see? So I will take it off and I'll repeat what was before. Social media and then greater 25. All right. So you don't need to get inside. So go here and check your criteria and the list of ranges. Is it good? Perfect. Then click OK. Now that give us all the social media that you asked for. All under this. From the in place list. That's the from here I ask. It was a bunch of them, right? So you said I want to ask about the social media for the sale origin. And the other thing you asked was this one here. Greater. So all you see here is greater 25. All right. Now the problem I have here is that what if you want to leave the list as it is intact without disturbing it? Now I'm disturbing it whenever I'm asking any question, right? So I lose the previous information. So what you could do, you can create an extract range, right? So in this case, in the previous step, you filter the data in place within the table itself. However, you can copy the record that meet the criteria to another part of the worksheet rather than displaying them as a subset of the table. So extracting the filtered data to another location leaves the table intact and it allows you to compare the data more easily, right? So to do that, what we're gonna do, so first I will clear the condition. All right. So what we're gonna do now, we will copy this A1 all the way, copy it, then go down. So we wanna put it in A38. So select the A38 and let's go back and paste. Go to the home and hit the paste. All right. So we will change this guy. It's gonna be extract range. All right. And then we will select A39 all the way to I58. That's where just I'm making it that what if we have a lot of information? So I'm selecting range A39 to I58, right? So just in case if you have more than that, so I highlighted here, and then we're gonna name this area as extract, and then press the enter key. All right. So we are good to go now to extract the record. So the advanced filter dialog box will allow you to use the complex criteria from the criteria range on the worksheet and send the result to a third location, leaving the table undisturbed, right? So to do that, now let's go up. So we will go back to the data. We will select advanced. Our criteria is the same thing, all right? So we will select this. Let me cancel it because my cursor has to be inside the table. Now let's go to data tab, advanced. So your range is from A10 to 27, right? 27, perfect. And then your criteria is from A2 to A3, good. Now, because we want to copy the results of our query to a separate location or to another location, so you be sure to click copy to another location and click the other location will be A39 to I58. Now check it out. Without disturbing the table, we have the result in a separate location in our worksheet. All right. So what if you said we want to find the shipping destination VT, right? So go to the advanced. Your data, the list of ranges is perfect. Everything, so be sure to copy to another location. Click OK. Now let's go down. So we find all the VT. You see that? Perfect. Now I will change it back to what it was. Social media. Greater 25. Then click anywhere. Then go to the data tab. Then go to the group sort and filter. Then advanced. Then be sure to copy to another location. If you want the result to be in here in this table, then you have to leave the first option. So because I want to copy the result in a separate location, then copy to another location. And then, okay, now let's check it out what we got. Perfect. All right. So the next thing now is using a database function. In Excel, we have around 12 database functions that allow you to evaluate numeric data in a table. These functions each begin with the letter D, D for data table, to differentiate them from their worksheet counterparts, right? So one of the function is the D average. D means data table average function, which calculate the average of a numbers in the table field that passes a test. The second one is the dcount. Dcount function counts the number of numeric entries in a table that pass a test. Now to do that, we have to go to column number L, column L, and then hold the shift key, select MN. Let's do it again. Select L, hold the shift, select N column. Now drag it to 16. Any one of them you can drag it to the right until you see 16. 16. Now release your left key from the mouse. Perfect. All right. So now we're gonna type in L1. We're gonna type output area. Then we need the size to be 20. Go back to the home. 20. I will boldface. All right. And then we wanna highlight L1, M1, all the way to N1. Then do right click. Go to format cells. We are in the tab alignment. Under the text alignment horizontal, center across selection, click OK. Next, now we're gonna be typing this in L2, 15% promo code used. So I don't want the formation, so go back to the home, go to the editing group, click on the eraser, clear the format. All right. Then in L3, we're gonna type average adjusted social media sales. L4 AVG adjusted email sales. In L5 AVG period space adjusted website space sales. In L6, we're gonna say total MA order. Then L7 count of email sales. Then L8 locator. L9 enter invoice number. Then we have to type sales, sell, origin, or invoices, invoice. Then sell, origin, criteria. And then we're gonna say cell origin, right? Cell origin, and then cell origin. This one will be website. This will be social media. And this will be email. All right. So we have to select this on boldface. And then we will go to the alignment, click the gray down arrow, go to horizontal, center across. So for the locator, we will do the same thing, align, click the gray down arrow, horizontal, select the center across selection, click OK, make it boldface. Perfect. All right. Now we're gonna use the daverage and dcount database function. So the following step, I'm gonna show you the dcount function to count the number of percentage 15% promo code used. You will use the daverage function to find the average adjusted invoice amount from each sale origin. The daverage and the dcount function allow you to enter a range to the average and criteria with which to filter the table. So the daverage function requires a numeric field from the table range. Therefore, you will use promo code discount as the second argument. Field names used as a numeric argument in this function should be surrounded with a double quotation mark, unless previously named. All right. So to do that, we will go to N2, N2. We're gonna type the formula equal D count, and then double click the first one from the shortcut. Now the database or the table will be first to come, then the field, then the character. These are the arguments, right? So the table is from A10 all the way to I28. So I will select the table, which we already named it as invoice. All right. Then go up, comma. So instead of saying A10 all the way to I27, so just you can say highlight, and then it's gonna give you the names of the columns and the table name. Now the field, which field? So double quotation, promo, space code, discount, double quotation, then comma. The last is the criteria. What's your criteria? B32, B32, B, B32 to 33. All right. Then go up. And then close with the parentheses. So I will leave the formula for a few seconds on the screen and then press the enter key. So the promo code used 15% is 8 of the information. Now the next in N3 equal D DA DA, which is the data average. Double click it. What's your database, which is the same? You will select A10 all the way to 20. Then comma, comma. Now the field, which field? Double quotation, adjusted invoice amount. It has to be sure that you type in the same way as mentioned here, comma, which is your criteria. The criteria will be M12. So M M12. So we are M12. That's the two guys here. I have to do it again. So N3. The formula is equal DA because we want to find the data table average, the third one. So the database A10 all the way to I27. All right, comma, the field. So double quotation, and then you're gonna type adjusted invoice amount, comma. What's your criteria? The criteria is this one here, M12, 12 and 13. So yeah. So I will type it because somehow my mouse is not selecting the M12 colon M. You can also type it. These are my criteria. And then press the enter key. So let me open the formula again. The database is your table in the left hand side. The field is the adjusted invoice amount, and the criteria is M12 and 13. Now we're gonna go to the next N3, N4. N4 is to find out the average adjusted email sales. So equal DA, the third one, data table average, the database A10 all the way to I27. That's your database. Then comma, the field, double quotation, adjusted invoice amount. You have to type it the right way, the same way as you have it here, comma, Your criteria is L. There's gonna be L12 to L13, and then close the parentheses, and then press the enter key. 27 point, right? Now find the average adjusted website sales. So equal DA, the D average, double click it. The database as always A10 all the way to I27, comma. The next argument is the field. The field will be the same, adjusted invoice amount, comma. Your criteria is N12 colon N13. All right, then close and press the enter key. I will keep the formula for a few seconds. So our criteria was the sale origin on the website, because we want to find the adjusted website sales, the average. Now we want to find the total MA orders. So now we're going to use the SUMIF and the COUNTIF function. The two other functions are useful when querying a table, analyzing its data. Is the SUMIF and the COUNTIF function sums the value in a range or count the values in a range only if they meet the criteria, right? So N6 start with equal, sum, and then you need the SUMIF, double click the second one. The range, what is the range you are looking at? D11. This is the shipping destination. So D11 all the way to D27. All right. Then comma. Now the next highlight argument is the criteria. My criteria is Massachusetts. So MA, quotation close, comma. What you want to sum to find the total Massachusetts order? We want to find the adjusted invoice amount, which is I11 all the way to I27. All right. And then close the parenthesis and then press the enter key. Now we want to count. So the count we're gonna say in N7 equal count. Look for COUNTIF, double click it. What's the range you want to count? The email sales, which is E11. All right, comma. The next argument is your criteria. The criteria I'm looking that I want to count how many times in the cell origin is email. So then I will put it email. Close the parentheses and enter. 5 of them. So look here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 email under the origin, cell origin. So highlight these cells, go back to the home, decrease the decimal place so it's gonna be easy to read. All right. If you wanna boldface this, you can do so. All right. Now the next is we're gonna be using the VLOOKUP function. So the VLOOKUP function searches for a value in a column of a lookup table and then searches a specified number of columns to the right to return a value in the same row. VLOOKUP has been widely used with Excel throughout the years and it was introduced well before the XLOOKUP. XLOOKUP is new. So for this reason, you might encounter VLOOK function in worksheet in the future. You want to look up the sale origin for any given invoice by using the invoice number to facilitate this calculation. You will use the VLOOKUP functions, right? So to do that, in N9, we're gonna type the invoice I'm looking at is 17483. All right. And then we're looking at the sale origin of invoices. All right. So we're gonna start with equal VL. VLOOKUP, double click it. So the first argument is the lookup value, what you are looking at. N9, I'm looking at N9, the 17483 invoice number. I'm looking at this. Comma. The next argument is the table. From which table? So A11, from A11 all the way to all the way to I27. This is the table. All right. Comma. So the column now. Next is column. Column is 5. Right. So if you count here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the column. Then, comma, false means exactly match. Double click the false. And then close the parentheses. So we are looking for 17483 in which table array? The table array is this, which we named it invoices if you remember. And then column number 5 is the sale origin that has email, website, and all this. Okay. And we false means exact match. Now push the enter key. Email. All right. Now the next thing here, save what you have done. All right. So if you want this to be colorful, you can select this, click the format painter, and then highlight this to make it different. All right. With the format painter, I copy the formation of the invoice date. Now is summarizing the data. Another way to summarize the data is by using the subtotals. A subtotal is the sum of the subset of a data, while a grand total sums all of the data in a row or columns. You can create a subtotal automatically as long as the data is sorted. For subtotal, the field on which you sort is called the control field. For example, if you choose the cell origin field as your control field, all of the email, social media, website entries will be grouped together within the data range. You then might request a subtotal for the promo code refund and the adjusted invoice amount field. So let's see how we're gonna do that. So first we need to sort, okay? So what we need is click the table, all right? And then we have to select E10, E10, right? And then we need to activate the auto filter. It's not there, right? So to do that, we can go to the data here, and then we can say sort. Email, social media, this has been sorted, right? So if you want the auto filter button, you can click here, look, all right? Now we need to convert this table to a range so that we can create the subtotal. Otherwise, the subtotal is not gonna be applicable when you have a table as your data is in a table. So we need to convert it to a range. So to do that, what you need is click inside the table and do right click until you see in the shortcut menu, look for table and then convert to range. Do you want to convert the table to a normal range? Yes. So now this become a range, simple range, right? Now we have to click the I column, right? Just click on the I. The following step is to show you that how to display the total subtotal for the adjusted invoice amount based on the cell origin. Subtotal are useful piece of data for comparison and analysis. Then we're gonna go now back to the data, and the last group under the data tab is outline. So click on subtotal. Then you will get the subtotal dialog box. So we want to add each change in the cell origin. We want the sum, and then we are looking for the adjusted invoice amount, and then click OK. As you see, all the emails are grouped together and I got the total. Then I grouped all the social and their total is 295. And then also I grouped the grand total and then, the website total. And then we have the grand total. It's been added, add this, and then this, and then you have the total. Now, the next is if you want to use the outline feature. Excel turns on the outline feature automatically when you create a subtotal. So the following step use the outline feature of the Excel. So the outline feature allow you to hide and show the data and totals. So to do that, you see here in the outline, I will click 2. It shows me the email total is there, the social media total, the website total, and then also it shows us the grand total, right? So if you click 3, it shows you everything. 1, it shows you the grand total only. Now if I go to 2, it's gonna show me only the detail is hidden now. How I get the email total to 100 is hidden. All right. So we will save this. So let's go back and open number 3. Now let's go to File, Save As, Browse. I will save it in my folder, and then I will save this one, Invoices with subtotals. So that's the one has subtotal in it. Now let's go to File. So if you don't want it anymore, just you will click here, the auto. All right. Now File and close. Now let's go to File and let's open the invoices. All right. All right. Now the last for the lecture is about the tree map chart. The tree map chart provides a hierarchical visual view of the data, making it easy to spot patterns and trends. Instead of the hierarchical levels, the tree map chart use rectangles to represent the cell origin by size, enabling the user to display the categories by color and proximity, and also to compare the proportions. One of the fields in a tree map chart must be numeric in order to generate the size of each rectangle. So the data series or the selected range of data must be contiguous. You cannot chart multiple data series with a tree map chart. As with other types of chart, you can, for example, for format, font, color, shape, and text effects, as well as data add field and adjust the data labels. So the tree map chart compare the values and the proportion among the large amount of data that might be difficult to show with other types of chart. So the next step is to create the tree map chart. The company would like to know the amount spent by customers in different location and via different sale origin without using a promo code. So the invoice amount will be reflected by the size of the rectangle. The bigger the rectangle size is, that means the amount spent. Now we open the file again, the invoices file. Now what we need to do is we have to sort, right? So we need to make the filter on. So go to the table. So now the problem is because we changed it. Remember, we converted, right? We converted. Now click it again. So until you get the auto filter, right? So what we need now under the shipping destination, right? We want to click on F10, click the drop down and remove yes, we need no, and click OK. So this is what we have now, right? The promo. Only the promo code no. The next is we need to sort alphabetically the shipping destination. All right. So everything is done. Now we need to select C10 all the way to E27. All right. Now we will go to insert. We will go to the chart group. This is what we call the insert hierarchy chart. Click the down black arrow and then the tree map. It's gonna be empty. No worries, we will fix it. Once you have clicked this, the next now we need is select under the data for the chart design, data group, select data button. It's gonna open the select data like this. So the next thing we need is we need to edit, right? And then we need to edit, all right? So that will be, let me cancel it. Let me do it again. So edit. So that will be changed now. So we have to remove this and select C10. C10, which is this one here. And then we will click the next guy here and we will select, this one is the series now. So we will select C11. So we have C12. So first I need to delete the previous one and then we have to select this. Perfect. Perfect. All right. Now next we are looking for next is here. Then click OK. Now this one we have to change it. So click the horizontal category axis level. So click edit. And then we have to change it to C12. C12 all the way to E27. Click OK. Right. So obviously we can also do this. We could say D12. Click OK. Right. So the next is to hide the legend. All right. Now, the next thing we need, we will go to change the color to palette 3. And then we are looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, style number 4. Perfect. Now we want to move the chart in a separate sheet. So move, and then we're gonna name it as 3 map, and then click OK. Now click here and give the title as order without promo code. All right. We want the size to be 25, so highlight again. So you're gonna type here 25. So now we want to change the data labels. So click the data labels. And we want the size to be 12. All right. Next, now we need to edit the the tree map settings, right? So what we need, while these levels have been selected, do right click on it and then format the data levels, click on it. Then we need the values, and then we want the value to be in a new line. All right. And then close it. All right. And then you can click and check it out. All right. So the next is to use the accessibility checker. Go to review, check accessibility, and check accessibility for the people with disability. They say the alt is missing, so click on it and type the message 3 map space showing the orders without promo course grouped by shipping destination, comma, unlabeled, unlabeled with sale origin and invoice amount. Now click save. Everything look perfect for the accessibility assistant. Now close it. You can go back and then save what you have done. So that ends my lecture for creating, sorting, and queuing a table in Excel. I hope that you have learned a lot, and be sure that to subscribe to my channel and be sure that you like my channel so that I can do more nice videos like that to help you become master in Excel. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.